Third round bogey-free 65. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I felt good. It's now that I've made the cut, which I think was a big goal this week. It took a lot of stress off, and I felt like I just played a lot more free today. And so, yeah, I think it showed on the scorecard. It was a lot less stressful.
As you're playing on the weekend for the first time on tour, what was that like yesterday, trying to get to the weekend?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's my second tour start, and I've told people before I had a putt on the 36th of my first tour start to make the cut from 5 feet, and that was the most nervous I've ever been in my whole life. So it's difficult, and I was definitely nervous coming down the back nine, but I feel like I learned from that first experience, and fortunate I was able to take advantage and make it here.
After making the cut, were you able to just come and enter the day feeling free?
Yeah, exactly, right. It's kind of, you just feel like you got nothing to lose anymore. Just go put up a number, see how close you can get to the guys out front, and I think that's a good way to play golf.
Only second tour start. What did you learn last year at Puerto Rico?
I think the biggest thing I took away from Puerto Rico is to be a little bit more even-keeled. I feel like I'm very passionate and can be emotional sometimes, and I feel like I let that get the better of me down the stretch in Puerto Rico a couple years ago, and I realized I was only playing to make the cut, but it meant the world to me, and I feel like I just got a little bit too jacked up, which didn't help with a 5-footer to make the cut, So I think this week I've focused on being really even keel and kind of keeping the emotions and the heart rate down low, and I think it's helped me under pressure.
We have a lot of young talent, especially PGA Tour University rankings. Were there any veteran players or any other players you reached out to advice in advance of this week?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to my country mate Aaron. He's obviously played the majors last year as a LAC winner, and so we've been talking ever since January when I won, because he's kind of been through this little stretch of events and big level tournaments. So he's helped me a lot through this new stuff.
Any notable advice he's given you?
Yeah, just to kind of enjoy it. You never know how long you're gonna get to do this, right? So just take in everything, and you're there for a reason. So just play your game, and if you can do that, you never know what can happen.
When and how did the invite come about for this week?
Yeah, when I won the Latin American Amateur Championship in January, and I believe this comes as a reward to the winner every year. So I was super grateful to receive that again this year. I think the last couple champions have as well, and I'm grateful that I'm here, and a nice little gear up for the majors coming up.
Still have a college slate, San Diego State, but a couple other events with that win, playing in some majors. How does that kind of change maybe practicing or scheduling throughout the year?
Yeah, I'll tell you what changes is graduating. That's going to be a difficult one. I'm home for about 3 days after this, and I have to take about 3 or 4 exams, and I only have 3 classes. So it's going to be a tough one school-wise the last couple months, but obviously do my best. I've made it 3.5 years. Let's complete it, obviously. But no, it's obviously been more busy, a lot of time on the road. But I think the best form of practice is playing in tournaments anyway. You learn a lot about yourself under the pressure, because that's where the real things come out, right? So I think I like to learn as I play these tournaments, and I can take these things into the next week and improve on them. So, yeah.
As a senior at San Diego State, what does this week look like? What are you missing class-wise? Is there homework, post-round?
I've missed a couple exams. I think the boys are qualifying right now for our next event out in Vegas, which is a great college event out at Southern Highlands, which I'll unfortunately be missing because I've got the Puerto Rico Open that week, and then the couple days before that I'm going out to Augusta for the first time to see it. So, unfortunate but fortunate that I'm missing it, I guess. I'll definitely miss the boys, but, hopefully they understand that I got some cool stuff to do.
His teammates understand, our professional or professors is understanding when you're missing all this class?
I try to be as transparent as possible. I think I've gotten lucky this semester, but I guess we'll see. We're only a few weeks into it, so we'll see. Hopefully they kind of understand.
And what are you majoring in?
I'm a general business major.
Anything else? Yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit about your tee shot off 18? Was there a strategy there? Or?
Sure. No, it's funny. That play didn't even. My dad and I didn't even notice that in the practice round, and it wasn't until the first round. I think I was third on the tee in my group, and the 2 guys before me did it, and I was like, oh, it's like that seems smart. Like squeezing that tee shot down the right with OB right is a little bit not comfortable, especially when all day you've had the world to swing at. So I went down the correct fairway the first round, but then we kind of thought about it overnight, mapped out some numbers, and figured, it'll be a game time decision. And then, it's always easy to make the comfortable decision when game time comes around. So we did that in the second round, and I had good enough drive to have 4-iron in and had a 25-foot eagle putt yesterday. So, figured we'd go with it again. The drive wasn't quite as good, but that'll probably be something we do tomorrow as well.
And your dad's on the bag. Can you share a little bit about that relationship and how it feels to be out there? Does he comfort you a little bit?
Yeah.
At a week like this?
Yeah, it's been great. He caddied for me when I won the LAC too, and he's been doing that he's been caddying at that tournament for 7 years. So we're relatively comfortable with each other in this situation. I think, I don't know. I think we just don't overthink things out here, right? It's just us going out to play golf, and we're good company to each other. And when birdies come, they come. He's good at knowing when to intervene and when not to, and I think that's one of the biggest attributes to a good caddy, because sometimes nothing being said is the best thing to be said. So I think he's really good at that, and yeah, figured why not ride the success out of January.
Thank you. Cool. All good.
Thank you.
Cool.
You were great.
Thanks, guys.
I'm Haley, by the way. I'm a fellow Aztec.